Hi, and welcome back to Wicked Ones Tarot. My name is Carmen, and today we've got a reading for you about someone who's feeling a bit frustrated or torn. I think they've been put in a not so great situation by a close friend or perhaps a family member, which is basically to say, I'm asking you to lie for me. So, this King of Swords is somebody who is normally a person of integrity. They're very honest, but they also feel a sense of needing to protect or be there for this King of Pentacles, which is possibly a family member or a friend. But it's an uncomfortable spot to have to choose between those two things for them. So let's call in spirit with a little bit of wind chime time. Is that enough? I think that was enough. Okay. Happy Easter weekend. I hope you're enjoying some lovely weather. It is beautiful here, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to record outside because all of the public park places are like packed. I checked. But I will try if I can. Maybe tomorrow I'll find an option. At any rate, if you would like a personal reading, my email address is in the description box below. It's goodwandstarot@gmail.com. And I've also just this last week launched memberships. So feel free to check out those options. Otherwise, we're going to dive in with the wild reflections. So what else do we have? Another King of Swords. That's wild. So I've pulled 3 cards total at this point, and from 2 different decks, we've got the King of Swords coming through. Very strong energy. Could be Aquarius, Libra, or Gemini. And then we've got the High Priestess in the reverse and the 6 of Pentacles in the reverse. It feels like a lose-lose situation. Either I don't lie for my friend or go on board with whatever they're saying. If I don't do that, then potentially I lose that friendship. But if I go along with whatever they're asking, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like that's what I should be doing. They're concerned about what other consequences there might be. Now, obviously, this could be all the way, it could be a legal situation for them. So they don't know exactly what they don't know. So this King of Swords is trying to make this decision and minimize the risk. It's like, I don't want to give up this friendship unless I really have to. But lying is not something that they do. Hello, Andy. How are you? Hello, accounts. How's your day? Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. We've got the King of Wands in the reverse. Ace of Swords. Ten of Cups in the reverse. This feels like something that happens away from home. So maybe we have somebody who is traveling for business or visiting a friend, bachelorette party. But I feel like there's somebody here who makes a bad decision probably with regards to, naked time. Doesn't have to be that. It could be a legality issue, right? Hey man, don't tell my wife I got arrested while we were at this work conference. There's something here where you have to either lie for someone or risk that connection that you have, or risk some sort of tension because they seem to expect you to do this. I'm glad to hear that, Andy. I hope next week is even better. What else? Hanged Man in the reverse. And the Tower. 9 of Cups. Yeah, I mean, the thing is this King of Swords is not somebody who is generally easily persuaded. They know what direction they intend to go, or they know who they are as a person. So it's not like this is someone that you can easily influence. And it's like they were there. For some of you, this King of Swords has like warned the person in the moment, like, hey, I probably wouldn't do that. Like, I think there's laws against that. Or don't you think this would like potentially cause some problems? And they were like, shut up, it's fine. Everything will be fine. This Nine of Cups is like just being focused on what you want and not thinking about long term or like consequences. So I think this King of Swords tried to avoid the situation that they're in by providing guidance or being, like the adult in the room, and it didn't work. Knight of Pentacles, Knight of Swords, and the Queen of Cups in the reverse. Well, I don't think this King of Swords is going to agree to lie. I don't think that they are willing to sacrifice their integrity for this King of Wands in the reverse. So I don't think they really respect this person after making this choice. You could be a really like close friend, view you as a confidant, but if you betray yourself by, how you act, how you treat others, a lack of compassion, like sometimes that is a little bit of a warning shot. So I think we've got this King of Swords getting to the point where basically they're saying, if you were really that great of a friend, I don't think you would have put me in this situation to begin with. If I have to choose between my morals and my friendship, then I think I pretty much always have to choose my morals, because what kind of friend makes me have to choose that? So this King of Swords is basically looking at the situation as, you manipulated whatever happened, or you willfully chose to do something and you knew it would put me in a situation where I would have to lie for you. So it's like they're doing the computations, right? I don't think they're prepared to let go of that integrity because someone was careless with their decisions, but they might be trying to find a way to like avoid the subject altogether if they can. How's it going, Key Controller? Hello, Voyager. What's up? Hello, Lemonade. How's your day? That's awesome. Hello, Laura. How are you doing? We have the Moon and the Nine of Wands in the reverse. Eight of Swords in the reverse. I do feel like this King of Swords is going to say very little or nothing at all. They don't want to start the argument, but I think their perception or their decision is, I'm not going to speak up. I'm not going to bring this up, but I'm also not going to cover it up. If somebody asks me, then I'm just going to tell them what's going on. Which I think is a way to, they feel like it's a compromise, right? I'm not going to go out of my way to throw you under the bus, but I'm also not comfortable lying for you. Enjoy the coffee run. Hello, Redbeard. How are you doing? Ace of Cups, Eight of Pentacles in the reverse, and the Tower in the reverse. Yeah, so part of the problem is it looks like our King of Pentacles or the King of Spheres from the very beginning, who's also this King of Wands in the reverse, making not so great decisions. It kind of feels to me like this is a bachelorette party. Remember not to get too focused on those genders. This is just energy that we're reading. But we've got somebody here who I think has some sort of like GPS evidence or something not so great from this other location. And then it's like they get home and there's some big celebration. So it makes me feel like this could be somebody who's getting married, or this could be somebody who's, I don't know, maybe going to have like a kid. It's like they're putting on this show talking about, oh, I'm so in love with this person, but that's the person they don't want to find out what happened elsewhere. So, Eight of Pentacles in the reverse, it's like they're celebrating this thing that's beautiful, but they're not willing to do the work to make sure that it stays beautiful. It's like when you buy a house that has absolutely stunning, like, what's the word? Landscaping, grounds, and then you don't do anything to keep it up and you just let it deteriorate and become wild. That's this person. They're like, oh, this is such a great relationship. It's great. Um, really like that person. We're so happy, but like also I'm not going to do anything to make sure that it stays that way. So with the Tower in the reverse, I feel like there's somebody here who's starting to have a different perception of whoever this close friend is, or maybe it's a coworker, family. For some of you, it could even be like brother or sister-in-law. But we've got somebody whose perspective has changed as to whether or not this is somebody they want in their, I don't know, inner circle. 10 of Cups in the reverse again. 4 of Wands. Yeah, this feels to me like judging a friend because they're getting married or they're going ahead with some sort of commitment here, but they have not been acting the way somebody should if they're getting into a serious connection like that, or already are. Thank you, Upper Echelon. How are you doing today? Yeah. This is somebody who doesn't seem to be too concerned about consequences. We have Hermit in the reverse. They're about short-term gratification, or they don't really think long-term. They could be extremely impulsive or have this kind of like life of the party energy. Page of Swords, 5 of Cups, and the Queen of Swords. So this Page of Swords is a piece of information, and I feel like it has to do with somebody's location, or like it could be, hey, why does it say that you were at a strip club? Why does it say that you were at your ex's place? Whatever it is, this is like there's a detail that needs to be explained. And I think that's when the King of Swords feels the heat the most. It's like, hey, will you just say that you were with me when we were somewhere else, instead of me being somewhere with a person I probably shouldn't have been spending time with? Because they don't want to have to go through actually regretting the choice that they made that was not a good choice. And they know that whoever they're lying to is nobody's fool. So it's like, you got to back me up or I'm in trouble here. Maybe, just maybe, you've been in trouble ever since you made that decision. So they're trying to like kind of put this off on the King of Swords. Like, I made this decision. You probably even told me I shouldn't. And now I'm nervous that I'm going to be discovered. And so I'm going to make it seem like it all depends on whether or not you're willing to lie for me. Hello, Deborah. How are you doing today? You all will probably hear my stomach growl. I'm sorry, I did not eat. 10 of Candles. And all I loved alone. The 10 of Candles is often about the end of a burden. Honestly, this is kind of sad to me because it makes me feel like our Queen of Swords, whoever seems to be the one that, well, they're the Queen of Swords and the Queen of Cups in the reverse. Somebody who could get really mad if they find out what's going on. This is somebody who I think is already kind of frustrated with this King of Pentacles. So the I loved alone, I feel as a reference to the partner here feeling like the King of Pentacles is like a partner in reputation only. You know, people see the two of them together. They pose for pictures, they go to events, but as far as feeling like whether or not they could actually rely on this person, they don't feel like they can. You've got the Emperor. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore. So I think we've got somebody here who, in the absence of this King of Pentacles, may find some information or may see some post on social media that was only there for a couple of hours. I feel like somebody got a screenshot if that's the case. But there's a trail of evidence, at least one thing that doesn't fit. And that's why the King of Pentacles is asking the King of Swords, like, hey, can you please like make this make sense for this person so I stop getting questions? Ten of Paws, or the Ten of Pentacles. It is a happiness to wonder. It is a happiness to dream. Now we have someone thinking that they're about to, or that they have committed to someone who is not serious about them. So for many of you, I think that this inquisitive, potentially got cheated on person is talking directly to this King of Swords, maybe just one-on-one, like, will you just tell me the truth? Like, I don't want to commit to somebody who's lying to me, like bold-faced like that. We're talking about a lot of time. The Ten of Pentacles is also potentially a reference to family. I feel like for some of you, we've got a sibling who is not comfortable lying for their sibling. So a lot of tensions, a lot of anger or frustration. This is the Jack-o'-lantern Tarot. Hello, Dex. How are you doing? Yes, that's the Poe Tarot. So all of the cards in this deck are quotes or excerpts, which is one of the reasons I love it. What else do we have? Ten of Wands again. And the Five of Swords. Man, this person's really they're determined to make this King of Swords feel some sense of responsibility. Like, don't be the reason my relationship ends, man. It's like, you know, whether or not I choose to lie is not going to be the determining factor of whether or not your relationship works. You're the one in the relationship, not me. So if you chose to do something that you shouldn't have, then you chose to not prioritize that relationship. So I think for the King of Swords, it's about making sure they can feel good about who they are and not sacrificing their morals for friendship. What else do we have? Another King of Swords. And the Wheel in the reverse. So we have somebody who, I mean, that's a real big sword for that dude. I feel like if it were, I don't know, do they ever like get concerned about people like, hey, you know, you're a little bit on the shorter side. Maybe we shouldn't give you such heavy steel. You know, it's like when you pick up the wrong bowling ball at the bowling alley. I don't know. This person's saying the truth is the most important thing to me. If I have to sacrifice my integrity, if I have to get caught up in your lie in order to save the friendship that we have, then to me, the friendship isn't as valuable as I thought it was. So they're basically saying, I'm okay with not being your friend. I'm okay with you being mad. I'm okay with you having these consequences because you're the one who made the decision to do that. Hey, Carrie, how are you doing? Hello, Wanda. How's your day? Yeah. Queen of Swords and the Seven of Cups with the Devil in the reverse. The thing is, the Queen of Swords who's trying to get to the bottom of this or actually understand what happened or why the details don't seem to make sense. They're trying to figure out if this King of Pentacles has lied to them. They have been given a lot of detail and they're trying to like sift through it all, but something just doesn't sit right with them. And with the Devil in the reverse, I feel like this Queen of Swords knows that the King of Swords is somebody who's very honest. For many, I think they would see the King and Queen of Swords as the couple because they can be obviously divine counterparts. But I see more so that this is two people who understand each other because integrity and being honorable is something that is important to both of them. And probably, well, I think most assuredly a bit lacking in our King of Pentacles, even though generally speaking, a King of Pentacles is somebody who has that loyalty. It's because they came out as the King of Wands in the reverse. That impulsive nature doesn't really align well with the idea of being loyal. So I think this Queen of Swords feels they can talk to the King of Swords because they know you are an honest person. And if I ask you directly, I think you'll tell me the truth. Oh, thank you. So we have Page of Swords. Here's that detail again. It's like the straw that broke the camel's back. So this is somebody who's trying to say that they were alone, but there's evidence that they were not. Like, did you all ever see I think it was just a picture that some woman sent to her husband saying, you know, I got to the hotel, just gonna like relax for the night, hope you're doing well. And then like there were boots in the picture frame that she didn't know that indicated there were actually people there. Wanda, I'm gonna ask you to please chill. That is way too many comments. Please, like group them together or something, but that's just like a lot. This is somebody who lied about whether or not they were alone or lied about whether or not they were at a certain place. And something betrayed them, probably their own decisions or their own like posting habits. Maybe there's like a record as far as their credit card usage, but it's like they can't really lie. They're trying to, but they have to ask for assistance from the King of Swords. And the King of Swords is like, no. You are on your own. I am not responsible. And I tried to tell you not to do that, and you went ahead and did it anyways. It's like when your bestie's like ordering another shot of tequila, and you're like, I think you've had enough. Like you're already getting that weird little walk that you do. Your voice is getting a little bit higher, starting to sing the songs that you don't know the lyrics to. Nah, I'm fine. I'm going to take two more. This person did not listen to whatever the advice was, right? So the Sun and the Three of Pentacles. Yeah, this is an investigative energy coming from the Queen of Swords, wanting to know the truth. I don't feel like I can get the truth out of that King of Pentacles. What they say just doesn't make sense to me, but I know you, King of Swords, you're an honest person. So tell me, were you there? Where were you on the night of May 5th? You know, like, tell me the truth. Because I know you are an honest person. And this King of Swords is like, well, okay. Yep. The Moon and the Chariot. So since you ask, here's the truth. I don't think they were going to offer it up. I don't think they wanted to lie, but I also don't think they wanted to get involved if they didn't have to. And this is where we have the truth actually coming out for this Queen of Swords. And they find out that, yes, there was something that was hidden. And with the Chariot, I feel like it's about who went where at what time. Were you taking a cab with the King of Pentacles? Were you at the same bar? There's something different that explains this detail that's off, right? Like, well, why did they need an Uber if you were there? That kind of thing. Let's see. This is the Energy Oracle. Hey, Rainbow Warrior, how are you doing? Hey, Michael. How's your weekend going? Door to Spirit and the Thinking Woman. The intuition's pretty strong with this Queen of Swords. You may resonate with the King of Swords or the Queen of Swords. Again, don't get too caught up on the gender there. But this Thinking Woman is, I think it's the King of Swords, to be honest, but it could also apply to our Queen of Swords, right? Because we've got somebody who's trying to get to the bottom of the truth. So that requires a little bit of thinking. But we also have somebody who might have to use their intuition, door to spirit, to feel comfortable making a decision when they're asked to lie. So this thinking woman could also be about somebody saying, you know, my close friend is asking me to lie for them, and I don't want to lose their friendship, but I also don't want to sacrifice my morals in order to retain a friendship. That to me indicates that the friendship is not what I thought it was. So this thinking woman, I think, is both the King of Swords and the Queen of Swords energy, because they're both trying to figure something out. And it's because someone, our King of Pentacles, made a not so great decision. This is the Golden Lenormand. Hey Jess, how are you doing today? What else do we have? Yep. Ooh. Yeah. So number 26 and number 23, we've got the book, which is The Secret, and the mice. Loss. If the secret comes out, if the Queen of Swords finds out the truth, then I will lose my relationship. I have too much to lose, to be honest. And oh, by the way, please won't you lie for me? This is somebody who knows the consequences would be great. They probably already feel like this Queen of Swords is frustrated, or maybe they know that this is a deal breaker, you know? So this Queen of Swords finding out this secret, or finding out that this person was where they said they weren't, or was with someone they said they weren't, I think makes the Queen of Swords decide to end the relationship. This is the Gilded Reverie. Yeah, it's some interesting energy today, Jess. Ooh. Yeah, this is, I think, somebody who is about to get married. Could be someone who's about to propose, someone who is literally, you know, on their bachelorette party. So in the Gilded Reverie, it's an extended Lenormand, and the man and the woman both have two cards, one with a shirt, one without, and we have the woman without a shirt. I know. Be excited. So we have somebody that I think made a choice to deal with someone outside of their relationship for the sexual reasons, you know? For some of you, this person had to hide. Whoever was, is it horizontal mambo? What are the other fun euphemisms? Maybe I'll have to come up with a list of those just for funsies. This is somebody who I think got caught or almost got caught. So the King of Swords may have seen this person that the King of Wands in the reverse was knocking boots with. This could be somebody who had to like literally hide in the closet. But this is the secret. This is clarifying the book. And our King of Pentacles was being greedy. There's something here that for some of you, it's like, well, I don't know. I'm not going to be single ever again. So I might as well just like have my fun now. For others of you, it's like, oh, but like that person's just so attractive. It was not long-term thinking. It was impulsive. And now that secret is no longer a secret. The truth always comes out, right? This is the truth is. Yeah. Hey, Jamie, how's it going? Yeah, Wanda, you're welcome to be in the live chat, but I'm gonna need you to like just kind of work on the etiquette a little bit, please. We try to keep things positive, and I want to make sure other people are able to chat. So we've got leveling up. This connection is moving to the next level. So they were getting engaged, getting married, something like that. Then we have destined. This relationship is meant to be. I think it was really difficult for our Queen of Swords to hear the truth, because I think this is something where it's not just like we've known each other for 6 months and we've decided to, get married. I think this is realizing the person you thought was your soulmate has been dishonest with you. So this is a struggle. For others of you, this destined card, wow. I don't think this is a large percentage of you, but for those of you where the King and Queen of Swords are, of course, not related, and, maybe the King of Swords is just a close friend, they may find out that they're real well suited together. So this Queen of Swords may have been about to get married to the King of Pentacles when in reality, this King of Swords is a much better fit for the Queen of Swords. So it could be that the relationship for the King of Pentacles falls apart and the friendship does as well. And then the King and the Queen of Swords end up being together. This is a juicy one, you guys. Dang. All right, this is the Metamuse. What else do we have? What else do we have? Ace of Cups. You gotta be shitting me. Well, I would say that's more like in the reverse. And we got the Tree of Life. This is always the card that I'm looking for when I grab this particular deck. It's the only one that has the Tree of Life in it, which indicates spiritual awakening. My. This is giving like Charlotte in Sex and the City with the divorce lawyer. What was his name? Harry? I think it was Harry. Or was he just Harry? I can't remember. It might be more than 20%. I think there's a lot that the King and Queen of Swords have in common, and they could potentially fall in love. For others of you, these are siblings. They're not going to fall in love, but their commitment to the same types of values really come out in this situation. So if we do have somebody that was raised by very honest parents and, taught to have self-respect, we have a sibling that's reminding the Queen of Swords, you deserve better than this. You don't deserve to be questioning whether or not you're, getting married to somebody who's perfectly content to lie to you every day. Two of Pentacles and the Knight of Cups. Well, in this deck, it's called the Prince of Cups. So we've got, I think, significant change happening primarily for the Queen of Swords. Let's hope also for the King of Pentacles, learning, maybe there's some things they could be working on in terms of being trustworthy. But I do feel with the Four of Cups in the reverse, this is not going to be a feeling of sadness or rejection that lasts for very long for the Queen of Swords. In a lot of ways, I feel like it's more about realizing maybe I shouldn't have been in that relationship. Now I feel like free. So it does feel more like it's, yeah, a release of a burden. Sometimes a breakup feels like a party, Like, okay, moving on. Hello, Jason. How are you doing? Yeah, I think in general, loyalty is a very important virtue, but loyalty is only beautiful up until the point where it doesn't ask you to sacrifice the rest of your morals. I want to be a very loyal person. I want you to feel like you can rely on me. I want to be there when you need me. But please don't be asking me to sacrifice the other things that are important to me to be in your sphere, you know? Hey, Jenny, how are you doing? I totally agree. uh, yeah, exactly. Two of Swords in the reverse, Six of Pentacles, Five of Cups, and the Princess or Page of Swords. That Page of Swords keeps coming out. The information posted or shared, credit card receipt, whatever it is, it really did solidify the understanding that the Queen of Swords had of the situation and made them realize they want something that is like equal give and take, or something where they are considered to be a partner. They don't want to be constantly wondering how this person is behaving when they're not around. And as a result, rather than stick at this Five of Cups where they're nervous or upset, trying to figure things out, they're taking this information, they're finding out the truth, and then they're taking action. Princess of Wands in the reverse, or the Four of Wands in the reverse. Sorry, that's the next card. Princess of Wands in the reverse is the Page of Wands in the reverse, and then we also have the Four of Wands in the reverse. Yeah. You lied to me. I found out the truth, and there have to be consequences for your actions. The Queen of Swords is telling the King of Pentacles, even though, maybe you thought you could control the narrative, maybe you tried to get somebody to lie for you, I was able to figure out the truth, and that means that we cannot get married. This is the Earth and Bone Oracle. Happy holiday to you too. Yes, that's the whole point, Jenny. You shouldn't have to worry about choosing between them if you have somebody who is a good friend to you. They wouldn't put you in that spot to begin with, right? Flow, number 21, recovery, moving on, and finding peace. And Blood Moon, number 8, illusion, uncertainty, confusion, secrets, egotism, and narcissism. So I don't think I could have a committed, like, healthy relationship with you, King of Pentacles, because it's a little bit too difficult for me to believe that everything you say is true, and I know that you've got secrets. So if that's the case, then it's probably best for me to accept that this was not the connection that I thought it was. Chariot in the reverse, I have to change my plans. Beast, conflict, competition, arguments, aggression, tension, and oppressors. I do think they're going to get defensive. I do think they're going to get angry. They don't want to look stupid, right? Because you're rejecting them. Or people are maybe going to talk about the fact that they cheated. But we've got somebody who doesn't really want to accept that this is how things are going, even though they're the one who made the decision to do this. So don't feel guilty for having boundaries, or, requiring that somebody treat you with respect. And it does look like at least you've got this King of Swords that will back you up, Or if you are the King of Swords, you have made things a lot easier for this Queen of Swords. So good for you for sticking with your morals. All right, I'm going to leave it there. I love you all. Thank you for the likes and the subscribes and the memberships. And I'll see you on the next reading. Toodles.